take care of ourselves that way. Not enough love and touching. You can really suffer from stress because nobody loves you. And I found my answer in God, and He's loved me through all this time. And if you don't know Him, you can get some love from Him. That's for sure. Okay. Let's see. Alcohol and smoking. I said smoking takes off 35% of your vitality right off the top. Too much junk food, sugar, salt, and white flour products. They're very bad. I didn't eat sugar for, say, like 14 years. I always bragged about it. But then I found out from my nutritionist that I was doing the same thing with salt, because salt is very damaging to the body. The tissues in the body are like destroyed and damaged with salt. Remember that they used to embalm bodies with salt. Back in Egypt, they soaked it in salt brine. So it's very damaging to eat salt, and our tongue, when we eat a lot of salt, doesn't taste other things. And junk food will do a lot of damage. The main damage that it does, I feel, is that you fill up on it, and then you don't want to eat other foods. And once you get off of the junk food, the vegetables and the fruits taste so much better. They taste so sweet. You wonder why we ever put sugar on, say, strawberries or whatever it is we're having. Anger and frustration break down the person's health. It's very, very bad to be angry. Try not to be. You should forgive people. I say in my program, Barbara Dewey's Good News Show, the Indian puppet says, if we were to walk 10 miles in someone else's moccasins, we'd know why they act like they do. Try to forgive people who hurt you, and try not to let them frustrate you. Don't let anybody frustrate you. Go for a walk. Same thing with stress. Stress is really, really hard on the body. Get out of the situation. Take a bath, go for a walk and get somebody to listen to you. You need to talk about it. But all of those things will break down your health. Shallow breathing. We need to take deep breaths. Most of us are slouched over like this. My mother used to say, straighten up. And I was always slouched over. They call it the hypoglycemic slump. Put your shoulders back and take big, deep breaths through your nose and hold it for a long time. And then let it out and hold that for a long time. And do that, 4 or 5 times a day. And for like 5 minutes at a time. Because it'll be so good for you, because we get, like I said, 80% of our energy from fresh air. Okay, metal toxicity, mercury and lead, lead in pipes, and there's so many things that we've talked about. Poisons at work and at home, so many things. Well, I want to make sure that you know this and get this concept. Think of this camel and how we have to get the bundles of straw off of its back in order for it to regain its health. And the same thing with our health. We've got to stop doing all these destructive lifestyle behaviors in order to get our health back, or in order not to lose our health. You may be perfectly all right, but in order not to lose our health, we need to not do these things and start eliminating these things. And some of us have to do a lot more. Some of us are already sick, and so we have to do a lot more than other people have. Well, today we're going to talk about breakfast. Now, breakfast as we know it is a product of big business. Big business wants us to buy their foods, and so they advertise, and we're told that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Now, do you believe everything that you're told? I think you're a very smart individual, and you should think for yourself. Now, what do you think they ate in the Garden of Eden? Did they call out to a fast food place for their special breakfast? No, of course not. They ate fresh fruits, probably, maybe even vegetables. I don't know. No one knows, but that's what was there at the time, and they were vegetarians at the time. So why are we eating all of these processed, preserved, and products, sugar-filled products? Why? Because big business has duped us into believing that this is good for us. It is not good for us. What is the first cycle? It starts at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it ends at noon. That's right, it's a cleansing cycle. And the cleansing cycle is when you should just be eating fruit, because fruit is a cleansing food. And I've got my different fruits here, the grapes and the grapefruit, and we talked last time about all the different categories, and also tomatoes. Now, if you have hypoglycemia, or if you have a yeast disorder, called Candida albicans, that I talked about, that I have the test for, then you have to take it really easy, especially on the sweet fruits. Breakfast, what should it be then? Fruit. That's what it should be. And it's very simple. People want me to do recipe programs, and I am. I'm going to do some recipes for you today and the next time. You know the saying, KISS, Well, it means keep it simple, stupid. Of course, I would never call anybody stupid because it would make them feel bad about themselves. So let's call it keep it simple, sister, or keep it simple, sonny, is the way my philosophy is about the foods and the way that we eat. Why should we spend all of our time thinking where our next meal is coming from? I used to do that. What's there to eat? What's next? You know, all the time. What do I get next? Our lives should be more than just what we get to eat next. And my life is simplified so that I just eat very plainly. I'm going to give you some recipes, but the plainer, the better, the more simpler. There's more exciting things to do in the world than eat. There should be anyway, because eating burdens our bodies. Thinner people live a lot longer than overweight people. It's a known fact. But let's talk about the fruits and what we're going to have today. Let me see. I want to try some recipes on you. Now, in a little bit I'm going to tell you where you can find some other ones, but there are a lot of good things that you can do. One of the first things that we learn is banana milk. And you start with a half a cup of water and put it in your blender. And then you should pick really ripe. All fruits should be really ripe. They should be really ripe. And the green fruits you shouldn't pick. So let's have a banana here. See how good I am at peeling bananas. I'll admit that cooking is not my very favorite thing to do. I'd rather be having a puppet and doing a little magic and playing an instrument. So let's see here. Now, you can add more banana and less water if you want it thicker or thinner. But when your children want a drink, and it's the middle of the afternoon, when they have an empty stomach, then just make banana milk. And say, here's to your good health. Very good. I wish I could give you some. Well, another recipe that I'm going to do today is fresh applesauce. Now, I usually would wash up my blender, but since it was just banana, we're not going to, and we're going to put more banana in. We're going to just leave it like it is. And it calls for a half a cup of water or a half a cup of fresh apple juice. Now, we've got a juicer here. I don't want you to run out and buy equipment. If you've got it, use it, but I don't want you to do that at all, because I haven't used my equipment that much. Like I said, KISS. Just the simple things of life. So I add a half a cup of water for this fresh applesauce. And then just before we joined you today, I quartered and peeled 2 large apples. Now, I used Granny Smith, the green apples, because they're less sweet, and I have trouble with, I've got a sweet tooth, and so I have to be careful. And then a half a teaspoon of cinnamon and a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. We'll say a half a teaspoon of cinnamon and a half a teaspoon of nutmeg and a ripe banana. Now, we use a lot of fruit for sweetening agents. We put all these things in a blender. This is a little overripe, but that doesn't matter because fruit sweetening is very, very natural. Okay, and put the cover back on again. This is fresh applesauce. Fresh applesauce, you don't even have to cook it. It tastes very good. It would also make good baby food. The babies and children should eat this way. Well, we've got some other things here. Like I said, don't rush out and buy anything, because you have it. Sometimes we have things like this in our cupboards that we bought on a whim and we don't know what to do with it. So if you have that, have things like this. You might want to use them. Now, our grapefruits and our oranges, of course, can be juiced. Now, this Acme juicer, there's all kinds of different juicers. You know, there's Oster juicer and Champion, and so many things. Champion will make ice cream out of bananas, frozen bananas. That shake that I just did too, the frozen banana is really good in it.